pitching, who needs it? I mean, can you just develop a strategic marketing plan in this day and time and crowdsource your way to millions these days? Is that our savior at this point?
I mean, it varies. I mean, it's hard to place your bets on what's going to work and what's not going to work in terms of crowdfunding. I wouldn't say VCs, in my opinion, are a huge fan of it because we like proprietary deal flow. So anytime that we are receiving equity where we need to take dilution or there's other public investors, it's an issue with the cap table. But absolutely, you can make millions. I'm not, familiar with it in the way where I've done something and posted on Kickstarter or any of the other crowdfunding sources. But I'm a believer that it works, and I read a little bit about its history, and I think it actually started very simply. Fans of like a local Japanese band wanted them to go on tour. They couldn't afford to go on tour, so their fans raised money for them to go on tour. And so that obviously started a huge movement and wave to technology that I think is absolutely phenomenal. So my opinion is do it all. Do the VCs, do the crowdfunding, do every kind of resource outlet you can find, and somebody will bite.
Let me add on to that. Just to give you an example, part of what we have to do is that you have to be able to tell a story. So branding and this whole piece, pitching, you have to be able to communicate your story. So I was looking on Kickstarter, and there was a book that a guy wanted to get published called The Shape of Design. So his goal was to raise something like maybe like $30,000. He raised $112,000 to be able to get this book out. I'm not sure what he's going to need to do with $112,000 to get the book out, but he's going. But people took to the story that he told, and so we're always pitching. What we're wearing is pitching. What we say online, I mean, everything that we do, we're pitching. You know what I'm saying? So we're always doing something that's communicating and creating an actual touch point. And when you begin to tell your story, and people are looking to fund that idea, to get behind the idea, you have to think about, making sure that you have a clear, articulated, well-developed pitch so that it is specific to whatever the customer base is. He had a great video on there. There are people that'll put stuff on Kickstarter and won't raise any money, right? And there are other people that'll do a great job because they built a community to be able to help, so they have somebody to pitch to, right? What if we're just in here just pitching to ourselves and there's no one else here? It becomes an echo chamber. So you want to make sure that you're creating something that resonates with people. All right, but I wanted to give you that example. So it's called The Shape of Design. You can look it up. He raised $112,000, and I'm sure that the book is probably going to be made out of like platinum or titanium or something like that, with all the money. But again, think about creating something that connects with people, that you're telling a story in that pitch.
I don't know too many case stories of a technology startup that has, not in terms of a product, a mobile app, a social network, a service that's crowdfunded and then sustained that and went on to raise venture capital dollars. And then we got the whole crowdfunding, Jobs Act, Startup Act, and it's happening. We got to be careful about that, because in our communities, we know that the first thing to take to do is go raise some friends and family. A lot of our friends and family can't give you $1,000 and understand this is a risk and get it back whenever. All right, so we thinking crowdfunding is going to solve a lot of our problems, but we need to be conscious of that. And and in the venture capital community, from what I'm hearing, is that that crowdfunding is going to hurt the deal flow, because they want the good deals, as he said, it's proprietary deals. And if you went and crowdfund everything, think about how many people they got to deal with on term sheets, convertible notes, all that sort of information. They say, all right, just to take care of that, to get you to an angel round. So that's going to be more work for them, and they don't want to get involved in that. So they want the good startup. So there's going to be they're basically what I'm saying, you can lose out on money if you crowdfund. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it could, because the model is still in beta stages right now. We don't know. But the venture capital community is a lot from here, not all, but some really don't want that to happen because it works their system. If you let everybody invest $1,000, then think about how many people in the deal you got to deal with, you got to work with, and then deal with equity shares, things of that nature. So be careful with that. Now, a book, we seen the watch guide. What's the watch called? Yeah, the watch. Pebble watch. You seen the Pebble watch? We seen iPad. I seen. Why do we need another iPhone dock? We seen an iPhone dock raise $2 or $3 million. I mean, but they did a great job doing what I said, telling an awesome story and raising millions of dollars because you felt like that you just want to help support this idea, see this product made. Now, I also seen a lot of stuff from our community saying, I need money to go to a trip across the country for the Olympics. She know what I'm talking about. and the Olympics is what, about a couple months away? How long we know the Olympics was going to come? And we now say, well, my kids start a trip to the Olympics. Now, who does that make look bad? And it's a minority. Now, how long we know the Olympics been going on? And then do we need to crowdfund the trip to the Olympics?
We just found out the Olympics going to be coming up.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. So when you, and I'm telling you, everything we do, everything you do, I don't care what color you are, but especially for us, everything you do, in terms of technology, the other community looking at, see, that's why we don't do this. See, that's why we don't do that. I mean, this is the conversation I had. Like, we want to fund. Show us innovative ideas. Show us great products that's just as good as the 18 to 25-year-old Stanford engineer. Show us that product. And then you come in the room, fit the part, have your deck ready, and pitch just as good or better as that 25-year-old kid. They don't look like you, and we'll give that person opportunity. But you have to have your pitch right. But if you don't, have a nice day.
You know, accelerators are the big thing, and of course you co-launched a wonderful accelerator. So is that the answer? Is that, or are there other alternatives that you would suggest? I mean, is that the actual go-to? Because a number of startups, as we know, that's like the answer to a lot of problems. You get in there, you get that mentorship, you get that funding, that affiliation, and you just catapult from there. So what are your thoughts?
Accelerators are the new American Idol for entrepreneurs. Plain and simple. They're popping up all over the country. Accelerators for, I helped launch the first accelerator for minorities, women, Hispanic, and African Americans. Think about how I say that, because I've got to be strategic. Women, Hispanic, African Americans. So helped launch that, and now, and there was already funds set aside for Dreaming in Philadelphia. William was a previous speaker here with DiversiTech for minorities. They have their funds set aside for like 5 slots for minorities in those accelerator. There's a women's accelerator now in New York based on design and so forth. There's an accelerator, I'm getting word, in Atlanta that's starting for women entrepreneurs. We do TechStars, Y Combinator, 500 startups. There's a couple more, AngelPad, that's cross country. And now brands are partnering with accelerators who brands have API that Microsoft launched Connect. Connect has API, so Microsoft gives some money to TechStars because they put out goods to entrepreneurs and say some of your startups, if they build products using for the Microsoft Connect API, we'll fund them. So, and that's a niche. So brands are partnering with accelerators to increase, basically if you build products for around their API, it's help them get more customers. So accelerators are like, now is a boom. Right? There's a few that, that Scott Case and those guys involved here in DC. Okay, you take the average accelerator is doing 46% of equity and giving you between $15,000 to $20,000 in funding. Now, YC and 500, 50K, 100K, great. Good luck getting in. That's real talk. All right. But after that, what are you going to do? Where are you going to get the money from if you come out the accelerator incubator, you don't have traction, you just spend the 3 months, that's the average time for an accelerator incubator, 3 months, work on your product. Hopefully you have a good product coming in, but you may make a pivot or have to lose a co-founder, bring an engineer. Launch your product, go to demo day, you don't get no VCs, nobody bites, nobody invests. What are you going to do? You don't want to go into no accelerator incubator, you could just come out of one. All right, you don't get no money, you live off the 20K. So, is it the answer? No. Does it help? Yes. Are they needed? Yes. But what's more important to you as an entrepreneur is customers and a good product. You don't have that? I don't care what you're building. Then you might get some friends to give you some money. I don't care what you're building. Good luck.
I guess I'll say And actually, in Wayne and Hajj, we met actually at his accelerator. My firm, that demo day, my firm sponsored their accelerator, which was really a good experience. Sounds like you've been through some things, Wayne.
I've been through a long time. Just getting started.
We'll be all right with it. But I would say I'm a fan of not just accelerators, but my big thing, and this is what I still try to do myself, is mentorship. Whether it's accelerators, whether it's resources, and I'd say resources as people, and assets being people as well. If you don't have the time, a lot of people don't have 4 or 6 weeks of their whole summers to give to an accelerator program, or don't want to. I mean, whatever their reason is, the key is the joy of an accelerator is it provides you mentorship that you wouldn't otherwise get. But if you can find a route to mentorship that's not an incubator or accelerator, I think that's perfectly fine too. And that kind of going back to the crowdfunding versus VC scenario we were talking about. Crowdfunding, I'm not anti-crowdfunding. I may create a product one day and put it on there and see how it goes. Just I made some money. But the joys of a VC, which is why I enjoy what I do, is it does 3 major things, and the second one I enjoy the most. The first one is it aggregates and allocates a large pool of capital for you. 2, this is my favorite, it provides the guidance and mentorship that crowdfunding won't do. These are just people just giving you money. Oh, I like your idea, it's cool, but they're not going to guide you along the way. They're not going to help you pivot. They're not going to adjust your revenue model. They're not going to call you at 12 a.m. and say, you know what, this actually sucks, but we're going to get through it. Like, I don't like your product right now, but we're going to iterate it so that tomorrow morning when you pitch, it's going to be better than it was last night. And the third thing is it helps with the exit in a both a financial and very qualitative way. So whether it's an accelerator, which I think is wonderful, I think camps are wonderful, I think boot camps are wonderful, I think incubators are wonderful, but I don't think that's the only way. I'm not anti-accelerator, like...
I'm not anti.
You're a little anti. But I think the key, my first thing was pivot, my second thing, my big thing is just mentorship. It's all about the people you're around.
And I had a quick point because I think Wayne hit like everything on the planet as it relates to accelerators. But you have to think about a couple things. One is going to be location. Okay, so where are these accelerators located at? Okay, you might not have the ability to be able to move to wherever these accelerators are if they're not in your hometown. You have to think about age, right? I'm 40 years old, right? So the decisions to be able to be a part of these accelerators might be different based upon where you are in life. You might have kids, family responsibility, the job that you can't leave. So you have to think about all these different dynamics when you're thinking about, I'm just going to pack up and go to this accelerator, and it's going to be the silver bullet that is going to it's going to alleviate all the issues. And there's no silver bullet in entrepreneurship at all, period. And the other thing, but one of the valuable things that I found being a part of the accelerator that we're a part of is that it creates a fraternity. It creates this alumni where now you have access to be able to talk with people. There was a great article in Fast Company magazine, and it was talking about the top 50 companies in design or something like that. And so it had YC as the number 50 company. But what they talked about was that now it's this great fraternity, and now there are people that came through the accelerator once that are coming back through the accelerator again, and they're starting to fund other companies that are currently in the accelerator today. And so what has happened is that the big part of it is that now there's this community of people that have gone through, and now they're helping the next generation be able to do that. And you don't have to only do that in an accelerator. You can do it in a community like this. So I just wanted to get to that point in.